I love making clothes for my children. My kids are all still at the age where they all still love when I make them a handmade outfit, and usually request a special outfit for their birthday or for a holiday. It's something I really enjoy doing for them, and over the years I've found some tricks and time savers that have really helped me along the way. Children grow quickly, and I want to be able to use patterns for more than one child. So instead of cutting out my pattern pieces so that they can only be used for one size, I take out my tracing paper and trace whatever size I'm using onto it. I mark any important information I need onto the tracing paper, as well as the size and what pattern it is. The tracing paper is also sturdier than the pattern paper, so this makes these patterns last an extra long time. In the Little House on the Prairie books, there is a part where Ma Ingalls tells her daughters that there is nothing left of their hems to let down on their dresses. I love this homage to how mothers used to make clothes for their children to last more than 1 year. Today when we buy clothes for our children, they are made to fit them for about 1 year, and really less than that, because in areas where we experience 4 seasons, our children have a summer wardrobe and a cold weather wardrobe for each year. Ma Ingalls knew that she would get the most wear out of her children's clothes by tucking away some extra fabric in the hem that could be let down over time. Mothers would size up their newly made garment to leave room for their growing child, and use tricks such as growth tucks, pleats that could be later taken out to add some extra width to a garment. Making children's clothes takes more time than purchasing them, so I try to remember some of these things when planning out clothing for my own children. I size up a little so they don't grow out of their clothes too quickly. I try and choose more classic styles as opposed to trends which may go out of style more quickly. I appreciate the value of knowing how to sew on a patch, to sew on a button, and to take extra care when doing laundry to make clothing last just a little longer. Using themed fabric with special interests or characters has been a fun way in the past that I've added extra excitement to an outfit. Dresses covered in kitty cats, overalls made with a favorite cartoon character, or a coat with a character from a favorite book are all ways to make a child's outfit especially unique to them and their interests. Those are the outfits that are worn with the most love and pride. Making clothes for more than one child has the added benefit of easily making matching garments. Even if the pattern isn't the same, I can use the same fabric to make a couple clothing items for multiple children that match. I don't do matching outfits too often, but when I do, my kids always think it is so much fun, and it makes for some really cute family pictures. Another reason it's best to make kids' clothes last as long as possible is because unlike clothes purchased from the fast fashion industry, the handmade clothes are much harder to let go of. Just recently, one of my children was very disappointed to discover a handmade outfit no longer fit them and was hoping I could make them a new one to replace it. That outfit had been worn for 3 years, at least 3 times as long as a store-bought outfit would have lasted. So besides knowing how much my children love them, I am also so happy to know that the time commitment alone is well worth the effort. One of my favorite ways to use up smaller remnants of fabric is to use more than one fabric for one little dress. I'll often use 2, 3, or even 4 fabrics to make up the sleeves, the bodice, the skirt, and the pockets for a little dress. Sometimes I even like to add an extra ruffle at the bottom of the dress if there is not enough fabric to make a long enough skirt. This way, only a very small amount of fabric is needed for a dress. I just take multiple very small amounts of fabric until I have enough for a whole new colorful dress. Since children's clothing is smaller than adult clothing, it's easy to get creative with where your fabric comes from. Of course, you can buy fabric new, but you can also find fabric secondhand, repurpose an adult's old clothes, or use sheets or tablecloths from the thrift store. I once made a teddy bear dress from a thrifted valance that was so well cherished by the wearer, and I've made a play cloak out of a leafy tablecloth that is still played with to this day. If I'm being honest, this time of year I would really rather not be stuck inside doing anything, cleaning, cooking, laundry, or even sewing. So anytime I can take a sewing or knitting project outside, I will do so very gladly. I have found that I like the look of buttons and buttonholes sewn on by hand rather than how they look when they are made by machine, so I'm happy to get outside and enjoy the summer weather while sewing on the buttons for these little clothes. Little girls' dresses with a simple bodice and gathered skirt are one of my favorite dresses to make, and I find myself coming back to this particular style time and time again. A way I have made making these little girls' dresses very simple, without bothering with bias tape around the bodice, is by sizing up 1 or 2 sizes and cutting out 2 front bodice pieces and 2 of each of the back bodice pieces. I put the bodice pieces right sides together and sew around, leaving the bottom edge open. Then I turn them right side out, which leaves me with a fully lined bodice, no bias tape required. The fully lined bodice makes the dresses look neatly finished, and also makes it especially sturdy, holding up very well to plenty of outside playtime. I will add sleeves to this style dress too, but for this one I left it sleeveless. For this style dress, it's also easy to ignore the skirt pattern and to just use whatever fabric you have to gather a skirt for the dress based off of however much fabric you have left over. I have made dresses this way so many times now that it hardly takes any time at all to make them. The lack of some more professional finishes really saves me a lot of time, and the dress looks just as well made when it's finished. I might not use this style for finishing dresses if the fabric were thicker, but for light and breezy summer fabrics, this way of making the bodice works perfectly. There's nothing sweeter than seeing children in the clothes you made for them. I'm so thankful that my children are equally excited and appreciative of what I make them, as I know that as they age, they might not always feel this way, which is okay too, and I know I will find other things that make them feel appreciated and loved as they get older. For now, I'm really enjoying these little projects that I can take out into the sunshine with me so I can fully soak up each day of summertime. Until next time, may your week be filled with small and faithful work, unrushed and filled with a quiet peace.